What's going on? It's your dog Artman Boxing, and we're back with another boxing conversation. Wait for everybody to get in the chat before we start talking about what's going on in boxing today. Man, so much been going on. I just came back from vacation. I didn't get to watch the Shakur fight live, but I still ended up watching it. And it was, it is what it is. We knew it was going to end like that. I mean, we knew it was going to be like that, where the guy was going to basically pitch a shutout. But I was for some reason I was expecting him to stop Oscar Valdez, but I don't know. It's not even his Shakur Stevenson's best fight, to be honest. To me, I feel like it was just too easy. It's easy work for him, way too easy, way too easy for Shakur Stevenson. I honestly believe that he runs through everybody in this division, man. There's nobody at 130 that can beat him, man. I don't know, man. I really don't see anybody beating him besides Haney or Javante Davis. That's the only two people I can see that guy giving real problems, other than guys at super higher weight classes than that. But for what I'm saying, man, the guy's good, man, and I've got him on the pound for pound list, and I think Old Media should put him on the pound for pound list. But if they don't, who gives a fuck? Yeah. Hold on. Everybody, y'all hit the like button, like and subscribe, artmanapparel.com. But anyways, Shakur Stevenson, man, he did his thing. Said Shakur got 130 on lock. Yeah, he do, but he do got a mandatory I want to see him fight. To be honest, his mandatory on Shockey Foster for the WBC belt. Ooh, man, I want to see that one for sure. I feel like that's a good test. And I feel like that's a better fight than Oscar Valdez. What's going on, brother Beehive?
It's cracking, man. Uh, yeah, no, you're right. Although I will say that because a lot of people didn't watch the fight, the Japanese dude that currently has the IBF title at 130, that could be a good fight. That could be a good fight. That guy is very unorthodox. His pressure is not controlled. He flurries a lot, and that could be a situation where Shakur has never really encountered that type of pressure fighter. So I
I
think
didn't
that'd
know he
be.
had a, I didn't know there was an IBF guy who had the
Yeah,
belt.
they remember. I forgot which the zone fight it was on, but I picked the guy he was fighting, Fuzili, the South African dude, to beat him, and the Japanese dude went in there and whooped his ass.
Was it a fight we watched?
I might have watched it. I don't think. I think it was a day
Oh,
where like multiple fights was on, so I was watching it, and then we may have collectively been watching something else.
yep. My dude Spo J says, shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, dude. Man, what I really wanted to talk about for real though was like this Reynoso situation, bro. Like, I think I'm starting to believe people starting to listen to what I'm saying and believe that this guy is not who they say he is, trainer of
He
the year.
he never
Because
was. He only had one nigga,
no, literally, you know what I'm saying?
one guy.
I mean, look, you remember how they were trying to brand it? Oh, they got Garcia in the camp, then they got Andy Ruiz in the camp. I heard things they were trying to get Virgil Ortiz in the camp. It was stuff like that, man, and they were trying to build it up as like this Mexican American type of super league. And it's like, dude, this guy, I don't think he really has it because, as we can see, there was no game plan to beat Shakur Stevenson at all.
Right. Yeah. And you can say and y'all can say that that's due to Shakur Stevenson's unrivaled talent, which is fair. But there are things in there you could have capitalized on. There are moments you could have capitalized on. Like for example, one thing I noticed is that from beginning to end, Oscar Valdez was jabbing with his rear hand. What the fuck was that? Like what the fuck even is that? That's almost as stupid as like when Dillian White came out against Fury as a southpaw. Like what the fuck is he doing? Like so it's just like little weird stuff. And also he kept trying to land the left hook, But the thing about that is that Shakur, the left hook wasn't landing. Shakur Stevenson had an active jab, but Shakur Stevenson as a southpaw keeps his left hand low. He should have been trying to loop the right around that guard, like he would try to loop the left. And the moment he started doing that, he had a little bit of success. He started letting his jab a little bit more. He landed some grazing shots across the face, and I'm like, yeah, you got to do that more often. And as opposed to clenching up, you got to actually throw some uppercuts inside and try to tax the body. But he really couldn't do any of that because Shakur Stevenson shut him down, and he couldn't effectively gain access to the inside. So it was just simple shit, bro.
Man, and I was looking like, dude, it's not even like okay, let's keep it. Let's break it down because a lot of people felt like I was hating or whatever. But I said, man, basically what Shakur was doing was in there was nothing too, not saying that the guy's not good, but it wasn't like he wasn't doing like unbelievable stuff to Valdez. He was hitting him with straight jabs, you know what I'm saying? That left hook and then pressing him with that stick jab and just shooting it down the stomach. And I'm like, dude, man, he's just basically beating you off of just pure athleticism and basic skill, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't even a challenge to Shakur Stevenson.
Right,
I feel like
and
if you would have stuck the jab out, if you would have tried to jab or punch when Shakur's punching, you could have been more effective.
exactly. That's the thing. I understand. Like people keep talking about Shakur's extraordinary talent, and he is incredibly talented. However, you don't need 20. You don't need a quarter of what Shakur brings to the table to even beat Oscar Valdez. Y'all can't look at Oscar. Y'all can't look at Oscar Valdez as some ultimate badass now, because especially considering how he performed against Conceição. Conceição can't punch for shit. Isn't even as good as Shakur, and Conceição beat his ass. So let's not get it twisted. That was a clear robbery. But yeah, like Valdez, if he was really, if you got to throw caution to the wind. He actually took Canelo's stupid ass advice and tried to box Shakur, which is dumb. If I'm a puncher, I'm punching with you. I have 30 knockouts, you have 7. Let's see who holds up in the pocket. And as you can see, Shakur gets uncomfortable when you start doing veteran tactics. He starts complaining. He starts looking at the ref. And also, he does, whenever he's about to pivot on the ropes, he does the same maneuver where he jumps to the left or the right and sticks both hands in the air. If you were to able to time that, lean over with a hook to the body or the head, you can catch him off balance and maybe even get a knockdown. But it's just like what I put on Twitter. With certain situations, if you're not as quick as Shakur, you have to punch where he's going to be. You got to pick up on patterns and anticipate that. And that's why people were talking about how we're not giving Shakur enough credit. And I'm thinking, what's going to happen when Shakur's in there with people that are trained similarly to him? People who are trained to hit and not get hit. People who are trained to anticipate patterns, to see patterns, to make mid-fight adjustments. What's going to happen when Shakur is in there with people on his level? Especially with a motherfucker that can crack like Tank. Like, like you think that if Shakur puts Tank in a situation where he's down on the cards, do you think Tank is just gonna sit there and take that? No, he's gonna jump on Shakur's ass, and y'all better pray that his chin holds up. I mean, like I said, I'm not doubting Shakur's skills. Shakur can easily beat any of the people I'm talking about. He can easily beat Haney. He can easily beat Tank. He can easily beat those people. However, he can also lose.
And that's what I was saying too, D. I was like, bro, I get it. Shakur's, extreme talent, but now when you up there, when the kids are gone, and now it's the elites in the room, what do you bring? What do you bring to the table? Because Javante Davis and Devin Haney, they're not gonna let you put that stick jab in their face and let you just shoot them in their stomach like that. Hell no,
Right.
hell no.
And the thing is, what people got to understand is Tank and Haney are trained in the exact same style. They're the type to shoot the jab to the head, shoot the jab to the stomach. What's gonna happen if y'all trade blows and Shakur gets knocked the fuck over? Like what if like I was saying, what if if Tank was in there clinching with Shakur? Do you think Tank is going in there hugging and shit? Nah, man, Tank is dropping bombs on your ass, bro.
Hell nah. Y'all start to get the clinch and Tank gonna start shooting uppercuts in the inside.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And the thing is, if you try to force Shakur, like if you're a puncher, you need to force Shakur into a shootout and just see who wins.
Exactly, because if you try to stay on the outside and just let them just pick you apart, you're gonna lose.
Right.
So you gonna have to take it to him. And Javante Davis know how to shoot a jab to bring it in there. He's not just gonna go in there throwing left hooks, hoping it lands. Hell no.
Dude, like they talk about Shakur Stevenson athleticism, bro. Tank is not a hoe on the athleticism game. If and especially
Neither is Haney.
right, and I'm talking about Tank especially because not only is Tank a smaller target, but like I said, I give them both the psychological edge because people like Tank, people like Haney, when they start losing, they're not gonna go complaining to the ref. They're gonna fucking try to max your ass out, especially Tank crazy ass. You think Shakur gonna be able to skip around the damn ring with Tank? No, he's gonna run at you and he's gonna start bombing on your ass. Like I'm saying, I could easily be wrong, but I could also easily be right. Like people aren't used to seeing real 50-50 fights anymore, so they think they have to pick a side. And also let me raise an important point. Let me raise an important point. When it comes to top rank, every time we have somebody from top rank that gets most of their shine out of the amateurs, not even just top rank, but a bunch of people, they get most of their shine out of the amateurs. What ends up happening?
They don't live up to the hype.
I wouldn't say that. It's just that they end up losing to somebody with far inferior amateur credentials. That's what
Oh
always
yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
They
true.
all
And then because people were
yeah, good.
talking about, oh, Devin Haney, he didn't have no amateur career like Shakur Stevenson and all that. And I'm like, dude, that's shit. That's even better on Haney's side because he has more pro experience.
Yeah, like people keep talking about the amateurs, and I'm like, look, in a system where you have to score points, where boxing skills are emphasized, where knockouts are less common, yes, this matters. But in actual boxing, when you got 8-ounce gloves on and no headgear, it becomes a game of physics. It becomes a game of will. Everything hurts more, and your dog gets tested. Y'all keep thinking it's sweet. Fucking Triple G, fucking Boachuk, Lomachenko, fucking Madiar, all these dudes end up getting clipped by people that don't even have the amateur accolades. And y'all keep hyping up that shit. Like this fucking Andy Cruz person. Andy Cruz is 26 and he's never fought a professional fight. And y'all already like, oh, he's gonna whoop Keyshawn ass. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like y'all make me so mad with this dumb shit. Like I just it's so annoying. I mean, yeah, Dev did have 100 amateur fights, but he wasn't an Olympian. He didn't go that route. He just went professional so he could make some money, and he didn't really care about the Olympics, which is fine. But like the people say he got stopped in the amateurs, which is perfectly fine. But that's not how it's going to go in the fucking professionals. It's a different ball game. There are longer rounds now. There's no headgear now. The gloves are fucking smaller. There's horsehair involved. There's a lot of different dynamics. The referees are different. The stakes are higher. So there's just a lot of different aspects. Like for example, Tyree Bird, Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney 3 times in the amateurs, right? Do do you think that he's really running up on Devin Haney like that in the pros? No,
And
right?
by the way, if anything, I feel like Shakur Stevenson, I don't know, he was thinking it was the amateurs telling the ref, hey man, look what he's doing, man. The ref wasn't giving
Yeah,
a fuck. That
dude.
ref
And
old as hell. Kenny Bayless old as fuck, man. Come on, let's be real. If you try to do some shit like that against Tank, man, in a pro Tank fight, bro,
right,
good
I,
luck.
I'm
Good luck
I'm
turning your head away from him.
I'm saying, do y'all understand how quick Tank's reflexes are? He would have cracked Shakur in his shit the moment he turned sideways. I'm just like,
And
y'all keep
then even if the ref would have been like, oh, my even if it's a point deduction or anything, that could still affect the whole fight. It's not like the NFL, like, oh well, we're gonna change the play and this and we're gonna go back to doing this. Nah, ain't none of that, nigga. If you get hit during the break and the ref says, take a point away, you're still hurt.
like imagine eating a temple shot from Tank and then having to continue the round.
Yeah.
That could be it. Like I'm telling y'all really think it's sweet. I don't understand why Top Rank marketing is so effective with y'all. But like even Keyshawn Davis is good. He's good. However, I do not know if he is the goods quite yet. And people are like, "Oh, Keyshawn, this is true. He can smoke everybody." But then again, we got to see more from Boots and Haney. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Keyshawn is on his fifth fucking fight, and let me
And
tell
then
you,
Keyshawn just said he need to slow it down. I was like, oh man, man.
Keyshawn, and with all due respect to Keyshawn, Keyshawn's fantastic, but Keyshawn see what we see. I saw him in there. He was in there with a guy who was 18-1, good opponent, struggled on the back foot a little bit, had to get something going to knock off his opponent's rhythm. He eventually tripled up that left hook and got him up out of there, thank goodness. But he got introduced to some different things, and they stepped up his competition some, and some of the wrinkles started to show. And there's no harm in realizing that. But y'all got to stop putting these pressure on these dudes talking about, oh, they're the fucking truth and fight. It's like, bro, take it easy. Let them develop some.
Let them get some hair on their chest first.
Right. It's like what y'all did with Lomachenko. Y'all said this nigga was Jesus Christ before he fought his first pro fight and he lost the second one.
They always like to say, well, he won a title on the third one. Nigga, who gives a fuck? He lost the second one.
Yeah, and that's only because he was politics. You put Keyshawn in that situation, he'll clip a nigga too. Put Keyshawn in there with fucking George Kambosos, he probably beat his ass. So it's like it's like there are levels. It's just like when people say, "Oh, a champion automatically means you're good." Okay, well, Bermain Stavern was a good win. Oh no, no. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up.
Like, let's be real. Let's be real. What Frank Martin fights at 135, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who's at 130 that's not a champion that we know is fucking good? That doesn't
Lamont
have a belt.
Lamont Roach is pretty solid. I like Lamont Roach.
I'm
In one,
saying, do you think that there's champions at around that weight class that are better than Valdez? I mean, there's fighters that's better than Valdez that's not champions.
well,
Because I feel like there's
Concepcion was
fighters that
clearly better. He
I
beat
feel
him.
like there's fighters like Shockey Foster. I feel like he's a much better fighter than motherfucking Valdez.
Yeah, that's real shit.
I just feel like when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, that Valdez fight, yeah, that's good. That puts him up there. But I feel like that dude Valdez really ain't shit. To be honest, dude, that was an ass whooping that was supposed to happen a while ago.
Right, he would have got torched at 126. Also, Hector Luis Garcia, the dude who whooped Chris Colbert's ass, is solid.
Yep. Oh yeah, I want to see that shit. And that's the
Yeah,
thing, man. I want to see more. I'm like a guy. I'm not gonna say, oh well, I get to ride off into the sunset after watching Valdez versus Stevenson. No, nigga. Now you're done playing with the kids. I want to see what's next.
right. And that's the difference between us. If Valdez had gotten in here and done the impossible, people would have had this motherfucker on training wheels for the rest of his entire career. Oh, he beat Shakur Stevenson, so he gets to fight garbage for the rest of his life. We're over here. This dude, Shakur Stevenson, beats this motherfucker who has 23 knockouts or whatever. Who people say was the next coming of Christ at 130. We're like, all right, you need to step it up some and fight Tang and Haney and Lomachenko and all these dudes. Y'all
They be
motherfuckers,
like, they need to take a break.
right? Just like
Jesus, man, they've been working so hard.
look at Tiafimo. Nigga beat one fucking guy. Said, okay, he deserves some rest. Got his ass whooped.
Thinking shit was sweet.
And all y'all doing is getting y'all fighters beat in more embarrassing fashion. Because I guarantee if he would have fought Devin Haney, he wouldn't have been leaking like that.
Who?
Tiafimo, he wouldn't have been leaking like that.
He wouldn't have been leaking like that, but his ass would have been schooled all 12 rounds. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it would have been embarrassing. He probably would have got a little black eye or whatever, but he wouldn't have been fucking leaking with his head open, look like he just got shot.
That shit was bad. There was one shot that had Female's face looking so rearranged. Had that man looking like Mickey Mouse or some shit.
Yeah, it was the best, bro. But yeah, man, I get so sick of these fucking dudes trying to protect everyone. These are the same dudes who bitch about how there's no good fights happening, but then as soon as somebody gets a good win that they like, they want to put them in permanent witness protection.
Dude, this fight right here, man, it really showed you that fuck all that shit they be talking about. Oh, race is not involved, man. Race is involved, dude, because the whole picture of Canelo versus Floyd in Valdez, what's his name's comparison. I feel like that was people was afraid of. They were afraid of that comparison, so they was like, yeah, Shakur is Latino, he's Latino, so it doesn't really matter. Nah, nigga, let's be real. This is a situation where a undefeated Mexican lost to another undefeated Black American, just like Canelo versus Floyd.
and trying to reduce his blackness not only is crazy as hell, but the thing is there are plenty of black fighters who could beat the shit out of Valdez. Like he might not beat O'Shaquie Foster, he might not beat Lamont Roach. Hell, he might not have beat fucking Chris Colbert if we're keeping it in the hundreds. So it's like you talking all this shit about Puerto Rico, and that's great, that's fine, but you're trying to erase his blackness, and that's ridiculous. Like when Colbert claimed Mexican, we didn't come and say, we just we questioned it because he doesn't look an ounce Mexican, but we didn't say hell no, he's not. He ain't Mexican for shit. Blah, blah, blah. We didn't do all of that shit. We just said, it is what it is. He's claiming Mexican. That's fine. Like we never said that. Shakur Stevenson can't be Puerto Rican. We just said he's also black. That's all. Like it's not that deep.
Predominantly black.
I was gonna say, what are his Puerto Rican features? His fucking hair, like
Yeah.
that his little curly hair. That's it. All right. you notice how Puerto Ricans didn't know he was Puerto Rican until he said some shit, right? That means y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. But y'all didn't know he was Puerto Rican until he said so.
I just know y'all wasn't blaming him when his ass got locked up. I just know that.
Right. And it's funny because they keep posting the clips of him in that fight, and he's not Puerto Rican in those instances. They say, "Oh,
If
look."
anything, I want to see the police report.
Right.
Do they say he's Puerto Rican in that?
And then apparently somebody attacked his mom at the fight or whatever.
I heard.
Yeah, somebody fucking tried to start some shit and got cleaned up. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Nobody didn't give too much details on that shit.
No, of course not, because of course his mom got attacked. It was fucking Valdez mom would be front page news.
Shakur might have to fight his Mando in the UK, then go after him.
That's weird. Why would they have that fight in the UK? I mean, I know O'Shaquie is represented by Pro Bellum.
Who is this Mando?
O'Shaquie.
They WC get their Mando first?
I don't know. But his WBO Mando is fucking Archie Sharp from the UK. Some garbage. some easy ass money. Motherfucker's got 21 wins, no losses, 9 knockouts. Haven't fought anybody. Straight garbage. Yeah, so I don't know. Shakur can do whatever. I prefer he gives the paycheck to O'Shaquie Foster, but if he wants to clip this Archie Sharp dude, whatever.
I don't think we're fighting on Shakur Foster. Hell no.
That's what people said. People say he's gonna duck the smoke. I was like, damn, y'all say he gonna duck O'Shaquie Foster?
Because it's like this, bro. With boxing, man, it's like fans forgot about the times where, like, even if this guy's not popular, he could still whoop the champion's ass. You don't know. We live in a day and age where people feel like, oh, since I've seen so much of this guy and I've never heard of the other guy, there's no way in hell he can win. She coming back. My bad, I was talking to my nephew. Come on.
Oh, it's all good.
But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's it's a difficult set of circumstances. There's a lot of people that we want Shakur to fight, but right now, especially with Lomachenko gone, the division is ass. With all due respect,
I always mix lightweight and fucking junior lightweight up together, man.
Well, junior lightweight
is 5 pounds away.
Yeah, well, junior lightweight is butt cheeks. So, like, right now, the division is pretty ass. Like, Shakur Stevenson fucking washes damn near everybody here. Like I said, I think the Japanese dude in the unification is a good fight because, definitely be a test. Shakur might be off balance. Guy provides a lot of pressure, but I don't think it's something that he can't handle. But yeah, if like Tyree Bird says, if you got to fight this Archie Sharp dude, that's easy ass lane. That's whatever. Archie Sharp dude is fucking trash.
Can you see Shakur Stevenson turn into a pay-per-view star?
It's difficult because people no longer appreciate pure boxing. I'm surprised the usual suspects don't call Shakur Stevenson boring. That's
because he's talking this Puerto Rican shit now.
right, and also because I think that they're trying to replace him as the token for Bud.
They are.
Yeah, so that's pretty sad. That's why I don't like Top Rank because for some reason bigots love Top Rank. I'm like, why are y'all obsessed with fucking Top Rank? Like I don't even understand. What's up, Jay Gibson?
Because Top Rank know how to keep their Negroes in check.
Yeah, and they just keep like I don't know, they just like I don't understand what about their marketing is so intoxicating. Their marketing isn't different from anybody else. It's like even their marketing
They
is
run their
so
shit like it's a fucking news company. I don't like that shit, man. They run their shit like it's CNN or
well, I
Fox
mean
News.
ESPN is a news company technically. Like they got sports news, but it's crazy how their marketing is so
Oh
fucking
shit, you're right, huh?
yeah. It's crazy how their marketing is so effective. Lomachenko has lost in two divisions, and people are still saying he's the best from 126 to 135. I'm like, how? This nigga has proven multiple times he's not the best. What the fuck is
That's what
wrong
I
with
keep
him?
on telling people. Like, what are y'all talking about? This dude has two losses,
Right,
not just one, two, to guys that won't even never be on Hall of Fame.
right, thanks. Oh, Tyree Bird. Well, the thing about that is that it was a close fight with Tevin Farmer, and the guy actually won. It just got turned into a no contest because he tested positive for PED. So I wouldn't go. I wouldn't say he got clowned by Farmer. It was a close fight, but Farmer's talented, good boxer, very elusive. Like I said, that's the kind of pressure fight that Shakur Stevenson should be in.
Wait. So
Uh,
you tell me this guy lost to Tevin Farmer already?
nah, he didn't. He didn't lose to Tevin Farmer. It was a close decision in which he won, but it got overturned because he failed the drug test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
That's
won.
common in boxing. Hmm.
Yeah, he beat Tevin Farmer by split decision, and but he got overturned because he failed drug test. Is what it is. He only has one loss by fucking by knockout. So and he's got 26. He got 26 wins, 18 knockouts. So he's a puncher for a lot of pressure. Goes in there, goes hard. Be some Shakur Stevenson could test himself against. I'm not saying Tim Farmer didn't do a good job, but he just, according to the judges, he just didn't pull off the dub. And the only reason why it's not another L on his record is because the drug test thing. So that's some strong language saying that he just went in there and played with dudes.
Y'all see who I'm drawing right now?
Is that Trinidad?
Yep. I got some Puerto Rican clientele, so I got to tone it down a little bit. D-Hive.
No, I mean we're
Not
not
just playing.
we're
Nah,
not we're
for real,
not
for real.
yeah, no, we're not saying anything bad about Puerto Rico or Puerto Ricans. We're just saying that if race isn't important, why is there so much emphasis on Shakur Stevenson now being
Because
Puerto
they
Rican?
need one, bro. This is like I feel like I'm drawing a super throwback fighter, man. Who they got really, man?
They have
Manga.
they have Serrano, even though she
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit kind of went tits up.
I seen that shit. I was like, y'all niggas is saying she gonna win that fight. She went in there and ah, ah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I watched it once and then I went back and watched it again. I scored it a draw. I scored it 94-94 with the second and the 10th round being draws. The primary issue for me. Oh, I'm glad you came in, Cozy Rito. We're talking about that right now. The primary issue for me was that Serrano didn't keep her left hand up, so whenever Katie Taylor flurried, she was able to get her right hands in. And I'm like, that's all you. You're not having an active jab, you're not having an active defense, and you're letting Katie Taylor get too much work in. And then you're coming in trying to bang with her. You're supposed to be the puncher, and you didn't even get any knockdown. That's the problem. So, if you're gonna punch with someone, the whole purpose is to be able to get some knockdowns. I mean, you wobbled her twice, but then she was able to wobble you. And that's why we were talking about Serrano consistently fighting women that are smaller and shit. She came up against a certified lightweight, and look what happened. The bitch didn't go nowhere.
She
She hit
she
her.
looked basic.
Yeah, she went in there, hit her with her best shit, and Katie Taylor didn't go nowhere. And I'm like, this is why fighting people in different divisions is important. And and they were talking about Clarissa, and I'm like, bro, Clarissa beats the brakes off both of y'all. Y'all need to just sit the
Both
fuck
of
down.
y'all.
It wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't even be fair with
They
Clarissa to do
tried
that.
it though. They tried to call her the GOAT at the end of the fight. Niggas was like, yeah, I better shut the fuck up with that
Right, like
shit.
nah, bro. What's up? What's up, Supreme Beast? Yeah, nah, man. Clarissa will fucking put both lay both of y'all down. Like, nah, I don't even want to hear no shit like that. Oh my God, Katie Taylor is the GOAT because she did only half of what Clarissa Shields has done. What the fuck? Do y'all hear? Do
Didn't
y'all?
Clarissa Shield become undisputed twice?
Yes. Two-time Olympic gold medalist and two division undisputed champion in one career. And they talking about some Katie Taylor. Because she barely beat Amanda Serrano. I mean barely. I scored this shit a draw.
Motherfuckers calling that shit a whole robbery out here. So you can't call nobody no whoa if she out here, nigga, not getting decisive wins.
Right. That win wasn't decisive at all. She was getting her shit busted up. Serrano. I remember in like the first 4 rounds, Serrano just let Taylor outwork her. But the fifth round when she started letting the bombs go, oh, Katie Taylor was getting fucked up. It was terrible. That fifth round, I thought she might get stopped. She just came in bombing, had her against the ropes. It was awful. Clarissa's fucking. She's a middleweight. Them hoes come up there, they gonna get this shit split. They gonna get this shit fucking rocked, bro. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Oh, yeah, nah,
Yeah, so I had a client. He paid me to do Canelo Bivol, but now he's like, man, I kind of want you to hold off till after the fight because I don't know. What if
oh
Canelo
shit,
lose?
he nervous?
He a little nervous. So he said, can you just draw the winner, man? Hopefully Canelo win. I'm like, yeah, hopefully.
He said, hopefully.
That sucks, right?
I,
I'm like,
I,
nigga, regardless, you gave me a payment, so if better hope Canelo win. Otherwise, you gonna have a former champion picture.
I'm telling all y'all, I petition all y'all to look up the date when Bivol fought Salamov. Go on Twitter and look up niggas' tweets. All these fucking Canelo stands were swearing up and down. Bivol isn't shit. Bivol can't punch. Bivol's not a
I
draw.
know.
Bivol has no
I
fucking
seen
resume.
it. I
And
seen it.
now look at your asses. I was telling y'all back then, Bivol's been pulling the majority of the weight at light heavyweight. He fought better competition than Beterbiev. He's an excellent boxer, good jab, good foot movement, and the man can box. You dumb niggas said I didn't know boxing. Now look at your fucking asses repeating after me.
Yep. Yep. I mean,
Every fucking 6 months, every 6 months, you and I get told we don't know boxing, and then 6 months later, whatever the fuck we were talking about pops up again.
I know, right? They literally that shit happens all the time. You niggas don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Y'all know what y'all talking about. Next thing you know, it's popping, and then everybody talking about it.
Right. And extreme willpower. I agree. Bibble basic as fuck. But let me tell you, what does Triple G do that's so special?
Nothing besides keep that jab straight in your face.
Literally, you can lock down Canelo with one fucking punch. Jab, avoid the liver shot, and avoid him chin checking you. You'll go 12. Callum Smith didn't even jab, and he went fucking 12 just by protecting his liver. That's it. Don't give him access to your liver. Don't give him access to your chin. You go 12. That's it.
Now you seen D Hive how Valdez was fighting. He was fighting like Canelo Alvarez with the high guard and like it's like he'll have a high guard and try to like move his head under the jab, try to like slip, but he couldn't do it, man, because Shakur wasn't throwing those the type of punches that Reynoso basically trains his fighters to slip.
It was so frustrating to watch because you could tell he was trying to fight like Canelo.
You know,
And I'm like, this is why you lose. What style troubles Canelo the most, dumbass?
this style. So
God,
you know what Valdez and them
fucking
do?
idiots.
It's like this. It's like they hope that they can catch all your punches, get close enough, and then hit you with a crazy left hook that's gonna fuck up your whole balance and fuck up everything,
Yeah, and I'm just like, bro, if you don't
and
have,
just break you down that way.
and I'm like, if you're gonna try to fight like someone, you have to be able to have their fucking reflexes. Like if you don't have the goddamn reflexes, then what are you gonna do? You don't have Canelo level reflexes. You don't have Canelo level chin, and you don't have his inside ability. And it's difficult to hit a southpaw like Stevenson to the body with the left because he's already turned southpaw and he's primed to get away from you. You don't have those attributes. You got to fight like you. That's like when I was talking that's like when I was talking about the relationship between Tank and Floyd. I said I was scared that that Floyd was going to try to turn Tank into some kind of boxing purist. And I'm like, but Floyd, like his hands aren't broken yet. He has plenty of power. He needs to fight and get dudes up out of there, like while he can, and then revert to boxing like you did when it's necessary, because it's an entertaining fight. It prevents robberies, and it adds longevity to Tank's career because he's taking less damage because he's smoking these dudes. Like for example, if Leo Santa Cruz had gone to a fucking decision with the way that the judge that the commentators were talking, do you think that would have went good for Tank?
Nope.
Motherfuckers were talking about Leo was up on the scorecards. I'm like, his head was bleeding from the first round from a punch. The hell you talking about?
That's why I don't pay them no mind. I really don't pay none of these dudes no mind. A guy just told me that Wilder picking Fury was a cherry pick.
Oh my fucking god! Like
cherry pick that went wrong. I'm like, dude, cherry pick. I'm like, hold on. So you telling me that Tyson Fury fought Wilder? He jumped straight off the couch, no tune-ups, no nothing. He just went straight into a fight with him, 6-week camp. They said, no, that's not it. But, Wilder thought he can beat Fury. I mean, dude, thinking you can beat somebody is not a cherry pick.
Fury had 2 fights before Deontay Wilder and immediately after Deontay Wilder. All this cherry picking, not working out, short camp bullshit is exactly like I said. It's bullshit. Not to mention, this is one of the most infamous cheaters in all of boxing who's repped by a psychotic narco terrorist. Stop talking about that shit. That was easily the most dangerous opponent you could possibly fight. Exactly. That reminds me of when people were saying that fucking reminds me when people were saying that Andrade and Charlo only want to fight Canelo to protect their O's. I'm like, wow, so you niggas think that both of them beat Canelo at 160? Jesus, that's the most pussiest thing I've ever heard. You remember when niggas used to say that, right?
When they used to say what?
Motherfuckers used to say that Andrade and Charlo only want to fight Canelo at middleweight to protect their O's.
I don't get it.
They used to say that all the time. Canelo fans, they used to say that all the time. They used to be like, they only want to fight Canelo to protect their O's. They don't want to fight each other. So basically, Canelo fans were admitting.
They're saying, basically, if they fight Canelo, they go beat him. But if they fight each other, when are the O's going to go?
Exactly. They literally would admit it without admitting it. They saying that they think at 160, Charlo and Andre beat the shit out of Canelo, and then they want to save their O's for each other. And I'm like, y'all, the lack of faith y'all have in y'all people is fucking pathetic, bro. Like, and then after the franchise championship drop, it was, Canelo would beat the shit out of them anyway, so it don't matter. What the fuck?
Let me tell you, nigga, they changed, bro. This is a new age because they completely gave up with Valdez. The old Mexican fans would have said, "I'm riding with my bro no matter what," and that's why some of them dudes like. A-hole boxing. I ain't gonna say his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's riding. He rode for Valdez because that's that old spirit. The new guys, they just like, I don't know, man. Valdez gonna lose. Well, back in the day, man, they used to ride with the guy. But when it comes to Canelo, dude, it's like a different type of love, man. They put him above all that shit.
That's because they know he has the system to support him. He has a system. He has political support. He has drug support. He has all kinds of support. And also, a lot of these dudes don't even like to make their picks public because then if they get a pick wrong, they feel dumb. Like, and that's not even what boxing is about.
Yeah, Polo.
He'll come over here.
He picked Valdez on the low, and I'm like, bro. Now I was just trolling him. I was like, yeah, nigga, I know you picked Valdez. Now what? Should just be funny, dude, because people would just be afraid to show who they got. Nigga, if you rolling with a person, just say it, nigga. Goddamn.
Right. I picked Liam Smith over Vargas, and I picked that before the opening bell, and that's just what happened. That's just what was happening. But Vargas was whooping his ass for the first 4 rounds. I was like, damn.
I was like, Vargas was gonna lose that shit. He was talking all that shit that got stopped.
I picked Liam Smith for two reasons. One, he fought big ass Jaime Munguia, went the distance and was giving him some work. Number two, he recently stopped Anthony Fowler, and I saw that if you let him operate on the inside, he can actually put some good work in. Because much like Errol Spence, Liam Smith has what some people call deceptive power, where like if you sit in there and you play with him, he'll put the heaters on you. I'm not comparing him and Errol Smith. I'm just saying, like, Errol Spence doesn't look fast. He doesn't look strong to some people. But then when you get in there, all of a sudden niggas getting broke off. You're like, damn, maybe it wasn't so sweet. And that's the same thing with Devin Haney. One thing I find weird is that everything people say about Shakur Stevenson, outside of the chin thing, because Shakur Stevenson's chin has never been tested, we all say the same shit about Devin Haney. He's a boxing purist. He has enough. Like people say, some people call Shakur Stevenson pillow fisted, and we always come back with, well, he has enough power to where motherfuckers just don't run up on him. That's all we say about Devin Haney. We're not saying he's a fucking knockout puncher, but niggas ain't running him down. That's all we be saying, bro. But I don't know. Like I said, Top Rank got you niggas in the chokehold. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say.
You can tell if when a fighter doesn't have power, you can just walk him down.
Yeah, like
Haney and Shakur are not one of those fighters.
Like Lee Selby has no fucking power. Josh Warrington has no fucking power. Michael McKinson has no fucking power. Tevin Farmer has no fucking power. Like these are dudes. All the dudes I named, you can run up on their ass and get them up out of there smooth. Except maybe Tevin Farmer because he moves a lot. But like I said, Tank will get on that ass. But yeah, all the dudes I named have no fucking power. So let's not get the shit twisted.
If Shakur win that, then why the fuck? I mean, if Haney won that, why so many people ducked him? Like, dude, like this is gonna be in the history books. I don't care what nobody says. It's gonna be in my history book. Before Devin Haney can get this opportunity, he had to do so much stuff to pressure niggas to get in the ring with him.
Yeah.
So many. His last three fights, they had to be pressured into fighting him. Did Linares didn't want to fight him too at a point, or I'm tripping?
Bro, none of these niggas. Linares didn't want to do it. Comey didn't want to do it. Fortuna didn't want to do it. Diaz didn't want to do it. Garcia, goddamn sure don't want to do it. Tank didn't really want to do it. None of these. Lomachenko didn't want none. Tiafimo didn't want none. Cambosos didn't want none. None of these motherfuckers, bro.
Bro, let me keep it 100 because I've been seeing a lot of hate for people even on our side. Why is Devin Haney getting all this hate? Like this nigga is not a skilled, very skilled boxer.
It's the same reason Errol Spence gets hate, bro. It's the same reason, and it's all personal. These are guys that they cannot relate to. These are guys who make money, who do good business, who come from solid backgrounds, who don't focus on all that street bullshit, all that ridiculous shit. All the stuff that your regular average nigga can relate to, that's the shit they get out of Tank. That's the shit they get out of Bud. That's the shit they get out of, but when it comes to trying to upgrade and level up and live a higher standard of living, they get mad because that's not who they are. And that's unfortunate because I can't relate to a lot of the shit that Tank has gone through personally, but I still love Tank. I still spend my money on the nigga, even though he's been fighting some straight bullshit.
Right. You so did buy that hoodie.
Yeah, that's the literally the first thing I bought, Tank in May. I haven't even bought the Haney shit yet.
Man, they was loving that that Javante hoodie shit in California, bro.
Yeah, because
I got a couple stairs though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's tight. Like
they was like, dude, where'd you get that shit from? I made it myself, nigga.
Yeah, like it's tight. It's cool. Like that's the first thing I bought was Tank merch.
But yeah, when it comes to Devin Haney though, I fuck with Devin Haney not because of street shit. I fuck with Devin Haney because he's an aspiration, a young dude who focused on his goals. This is something he was born into, nigga. He's achieving them, and he's actually doing it really well. A lot of people been in Devin Haney's position where they were brought up by boxers and shit like that and didn't exceed expectations or even meet expectations. You know?
Right, and
So
keep
for him to be under these guys and actually do well and have his own name in the game and not be known as Mayweather's protege or whoever's protege, but instead Devin Haney, yeah, that I respect that. I ride with him. He's like the I call him. I know that's not his name, but I call him the young American dream.
right, and people got to get something straight. Like Bill Haney, I don't exactly recall who was there first, but I believe that Devin Haney had the opportunity to sign with Mayweather and he turned it down for personal reasons. But Adrian Broner is the one that brought Tank to Mayweather.
He did. He did.
Adrian Broner found Tank. Like people try to make it seem like some competition, like Haney and Tank were competing for Mayweather's affection and da 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 da. Da. I'm like, no, Haney had the opportunity and he decided to go his own way because he didn't want to be up under nobody. And we see that that's kind of was kind of a good idea. And Mayweather just got Tank from Adrian Broner. But I
Straight.
but I believe but I believe it was Haney that caught Mayweather's attention first.
So Floyd Mayweather wanted to sign Haney, right?
I believe so. Yes. I mean, maybe Julius or Checkmate can correct me if they feel like I'm saying something that's incorrect, but that's how I remember it.
Man, could you imagine Haney signed with Mayweather?
We don't know where his career will be. I mean, he definitely wouldn't be going to no fucking Australia. He definitely wouldn't be going to fucking Australia.
Fuck that Australia shit, man. But did you see what Bob Arum said? That article that just came out.
Nah, what do you say?
Bob Arum said basically, nigga, there's going to be no Australian judges for this fight.
That's good. Shit, Bob Arum trying to bring them belts home so Lomachenko can get them.
I told people they're like, nah, that's not true. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, look, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's not even a second fight.
Hmm. Yeah,
Bob Arum learned his lesson. I'm pretty sure this contract is not a binding contract like what's the name? You know, like how the Wilder Fury contract, where if something happened, it would have to go to uh, arbitration. I feel like this contract is not like that. I feel like if it comes to the point where Haney beats him, what's the name? He can opt out and
yeah,
not fight in a rematch,
and
or
Bob and Bob
or there
and
can
Bob
be a deadline.
And Bob Arum want that shit too because he knows Haney got to come home and fight whoever he put in front of him, whether that be Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, or whoever.
I see a super fight with Devin Haney coming. This people thinking this is the super fight. Hell nah. This dude is getting sacrificed. George Kambosos is not who y'all thought. He's bro. Let's be real. None of these niggas was picking George Kambosos to beat to beat Teofimo Lopez. This
At
guy
all.
is what he is before. A fucking nobody.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know why people are like uncomfortable saying that shit. It's true. Cambosis is fucking nothing. If you don't like Devin Haney, that's perfectly fine. But stop acting like Cambosis is the ultimate badass because Teofimo and Lomachenko were fucking hype machines. Now
They
I
call
didn't.
him the ultimate badass, but saying Devin Haney not getting credit if he beats him.
Yeah,
Make
and
it
that's
make fucking sense.
Yeah, and that's fine. Y'all don't have to give the nigga any credit, but the fact of the matter is he's gonna go and beat this dude, and then you can sit there and you can be fucking upset about it. Like like it is what it is, bro. Like he's gonna
Devin
be
Haney doesn't deserve to be on the pound for pound, nigga. Shut up, nigga.
yeah, they're already getting that out the way. Meanwhile, Lomachenko deserves to be on the pound for pound list for getting his ass beat.
Two losses with no belts.
Like
Name how do a nigga with bro? That don't even make no sense. He has no belt and two losses, and he's coming off a win over Richard Coleman, who's been stopped by the nigga who gave him a loss.
somebody who also ducked Devin Haney.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. But then again, I get into my usual saying, which is, who gives a fuck what these pale faces think? They don't get to dictate who's the best. Like they try to rewrite history every fucking day, and they get mad at me saying, "Oh, Art Man don't know boxing." No, I know boxing. I just get upset when I come to correct your ass, like saying Tyson Fury is a fucking tune-up, no, a cherry cherry pick gone wrong.
It's just that the bias is so obvious. Like if you just compare Lomachenko's situation to fucking Devin Haney's situation, the only difference is really color, and Devin Haney is doing more. Because first when Cambosis whooped Teofimo ass, they said Cambosis is the man because he beat the man who beat the man. Okay, cool. So once Devin Haney comes in there and stomps his ass the fuck out, he should get all that respect. Well, actually, nah, cause see, now it's different. Cause what the fuck are y'all talking about? Y'all said Cambosis was the man. Devin Haney would be the man who beat the man. But nah, see, cause see, now it's different. Cause Haney he didn't fight nobody to get the championship. Who did Lomachenko fight to get the franchise belt? Whoa, see,
Well,
well, see
that was
that,
different. That was his team who did. So he
yeah,
just accepted. So you're telling me the champion said, you know what, you have a belt, and you're just going to give it up tomorrow because your team says so, and you're not going to fight it.
right. Deontay Wilder had the same option, and he said no. He told them no. He told his team and the WBC no. Don't hit me with that weak shit.
Because they was trying to make it. Because niggas start asking questions like, hold on, franchise champion. Why ain't no black franchise champion? Why Wilder ain't the franchise champion? He's been a champion for 5 years, 10 title defenses.
Right. And you know what? People, and even black people, this is what gets me mad. Even black people are saying, oh, Devin Haney better not become a diva, da 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 da. Man, fuck y'all and fuck that shit. Devin Haney should take that franchise championship. He should take as much bread as he can get his fucking hands on and act like a stuck up bitch for the rest of his goddamn career. Because you motherfuckers are on hush mode when people like Lomachenko, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, and Cambosis are out here running around like bitches, doing the bare goddamn minimum and getting all this respect. So when Devin Haney beats this fucking asshole, he should go ahead and act like a bitch like everyone else. He should run around talking about how I'm the king, da 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 da, getting the most money humanly possible out of these cunts. Now, I'm not saying that he should do that his whole career. I'm saying for at least the next two fights after this is over, take some easy ass smoke or do whatever, and then cruise on up to
defense, get a voluntary defense against whoever, some
some
random bum.
yeah, some trash to get to make some of this bread back, and then go up to 140 and see what Josh Taylor and them talking about. Because once he gets all the belts, he can just challenge at a higher weight class. So if Josh Taylor still got his punk ass over there, and you already a top rank, make that fucking fight, bro. Make that fight, bro. And honestly, I hope that Bill Haney and Devin are looking at it like that. Because now they over there at top rank, this shit is fucking sweet. Because top rank got 140 on lockdown. So Josh Taylor, hey homie, when your time is up, I don't want to hear no fucking excuses.
Bro, speaking of Josh Taylor, Teofimo, Josh Taylor, what? Remember?
Both of them niggas losing to Devin Haney, so I don't really care. So y'all punk ass can hang out, fight, win or lose. Y'all better sit right there, hold it down. So once these fights are over with and it's time for Devin Haney to come up and break off a champion, stay your ass right there and don't move.
Who you think wins that fight, Taylor or Teofimo at 140?
Shit, probably Taylor, to be honest. Taylor's better. Better ring IQ. The southpaw. And he fights dirty. He's good at all that dirty shit. Teofimo got to clean up stuff. He has a lot to improve on. I mean, so does Josh Taylor, but I think Josh Taylor still get Teofimo's ass.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck that damn fight. Let's see. What else y'all talking about in the chat? That Haney does what he usually does instead of being a crowd pleaser. He could take Cambosos over the bone like he did the Russian dude that stopped Linares. Facts.
That's true. And yeah, Jason, he does try to please the crowd, and hopefully he has to understand that the crowd isn't gonna like him no matter what he does. It's not gonna matter no matter what he does. That's what I said. Get the franchise dub, be done. Yeah, and I don't mean like a bunch. I mean like one or two, just to make some easy paychecks because they robbing Devin on this bullshit deal. They giving them fucking trash. They're giving them trash paper for extremely high risk fights, and then they're talking about stacking Lomachenko or whoever on top of that. I'm assuming that even though Lomachenko's had his ass whooped and will have no belts, Lomachenko probably gonna be getting, I imagine the lion's share of that bread too. So yeah, just go ahead and take, one or two little easy ass ones to get some money back, and then go ahead and move up to 140 and see what those assholes talking about. Or you can just go to 140 and fight a random, like that. But I don't know if they're still gonna allow you to like you have to petition directly for a champion or something. So actually, I take that back. Get the franchise, challenge the champs at 140, whoop whoever that is, and then act like a fucking diva. Yeah, Valdez. I swear he knocked out a motherfucker that had already been knocked out by a nobody, and people thought he was the next coming of Christ. I'm like, all right, y'all hyping Valdez up. Okay. Yeah, I want Haney to fight. I say that. I want Haney to fight Loma to beat him, but however, Lomachenko doesn't deserve jack shit, especially all this duckery and fuckery. Nah, bro, you should have just fought Devin Haney like you were supposed to, and then we wouldn't even be here right now. But
Well,
instead,
that's why I feel like Lomachenko is gonna get this fight, dude. Because you gotta really think about it. Why would, even if he is in this fucking war, why would a man with responsibilities and bills not fight for that long, bro? I feel like they're gonna give him a fucking a large amount of cash that he's not used to fight Devin Haney
bro, Lomachenko is not engaging in combat operations. That motherfucker's in training camp resting right now.
right now. Probably getting a good training in, sparring, all that, so he can fight the winner of George Kambosos versus Devin Haney.
They at the crib right now watching all of Devin Haney's greatest hits because they're like, shit, we really finally gonna have to fight this nigga. Great. they're probably sitting back like Oscar Valdez team right now, like fuck. So we finally gonna have to fight this motherfucker. All right, let's just watch some tape. Yeah, they're not in no damn wars. Bunch of cap, fucking cap. You just really believe that weak shit.
Ray Nelson really didn't have no plan for this nigga, man.
Yeah, I heard his corner instructions were ass, which I because I wasn't really listening. I
He
wasn't really.
tried to give Oscar Valdez his mouthpiece, though.
Yeah, that just shows you they didn't really. That just shows you they didn't really have much in store. They were just like basically try not to get beat up, try not to get stopped. I not to do any of that. What's up, he who breathes? A lot of Loma's defense is offense. It's heavily on forward advantage. Yeah, like Lomachenko is not some uber super master boxer. Like Midwest put it best. He's a pressure fighter. He's a pressure fighter, and most of his defense comes from him throwing punches aggressively and catching people off balance. Like a lot of knockdowns are him really pushing people over. Like a lot of knockdowns are him punching in the clinch, taking a step forward while someone's off balance, and then getting issued a knockdown by the referee. He's not this
Have you
super
heard
uber,
the term prime Loma yet?
huh?
Have you heard the term prime Loma?
No, not yet, but they're gonna whip it out for Devin Haney.
I have.
Oh
Recently,
my god.
they said prime Loma would have stopped Richard Comey.
Prime Loma can eat a fucking dick. Prime Loma, fresh out the Olympics, was getting beat up by a fucking Uber driver. Fuck that. Fucking Lomachenko is the same age as Terrence Crawford. I don't want to hear no bullshit. I don't want to hear jack shit from y'all. Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford are the same age.
But got a record like he fucking just started boxing.
Right. No one told you to waste time in the amateurs getting a second gold medal beating up kids who weren't even finished with puberty. Talking about, oh my god, well, the amateur, fuck the amateurs. I'm sick of y'all with that bullshit. Whenever someone takes a fucking loss, you can't point to their amateur career to take it away. They got their ass whooping the pros where it counts. No one gives a fuck about the amateurs, bro. And I'm sick of y'all with that. Fucking Deontay Wilder was a bronze medalist in the amateurs, fresh off of a beer truck, and he doesn't get his dick sucked over it every day. Clarissa Shields got 2 gold medals, the same thing y'all give Lomachenko credit for. Had a better career than Lomachenko thus far. She ain't getting her ass eaten every day. I'm sick of y'all with that weak shit. God.
You said King Canelo finna double down on the juice now. Man, I'm telling you, bro, if Canelo loses this Saturday, bro, what? I honestly, D Hive, I know it sounds pretty crazy to me, man, but I'm starting to get a little sympathy in my heart because I'm thinking, man, if Canelo loses, it's not going to be a good look for their team.
Man, I don't give a damn about them. This like dude,
Box-
how many huh?
I said this is boxing, yeah, it is what it is, but I'm like, man, Canelo, you was just a man. Now you got some. Hopefully, you'll lose this one, man.
And my thing is though, I'm like, this is I mean, how much more easy bread do y'all need to collect? Like, this is like your first certified fight since goddamn Triple G, where you might actually be in for some shit. I'm just like, there's only so many bums in and around the division that are big ass money fights, and Bivol wasn't even on that list. I'm happy you're fighting Bivol, but I mean, like, y'all got to put in some work at some point. This is prime Canelo, and you didn't ran a path through half of fucking Europe. It's time, bro.
He
It's time.
should have mixed it up a little bit. I feel like the mixing wasn't good enough, and I feel like them getting Plant and thinking that, bro. I feel like they feel like getting Plant was going to satisfy us, where we're just like, oh well, Canelo doesn't have to fight anybody else. But we'll see with this. One thing I did notice though, I'm gonna keep it 100. Bivol does leave his body open from the film I've seen. I could be wrong.
No, he does. He doesn't protect his body.
How's that going to play out?
Well, the thing is, Bivol, as opposed to dropping his hands to protect his body, he just moves his feet. So usually to evade body shots on the inside and to evade hooks, he takes a full step backwards. He'll take a full step backwards. He'll lateral around using the L step, or he'll just pivot. Going in reverse. So Bivol can't fight off the back foot. The issue is when he gets on the ropes. If he gets on the ropes against Canelo, he's gonna get his ass taxed. So if he can avoid doing that, then he'll probably have a decent shot. But if as long as he keeps Canelo in the center of the ring, Bivol shouldn't really have any issues. he really shouldn't. It's the ropes that gives him the problem. Yeah, so I mean, we just got to see. We just got to see. We're gonna see how Bivol. Well, that's the thing. Bivol's got a good. I think Bivol's got a solid chin. I think Bivol can eat Canelo shots because Bivol took 2 overhand rights from Joe Smith Jr. and he didn't go anywhere. And these are like these, and I'm not talking about like baby rights. I'm talking about full looping, overextended clubbing rights. And Bivol didn't go anywhere. So I think he'll be able to eat whatever Canelo got in store. I don't think Canelo's jab is really going to land that often, so he's going to have to get inside and really put in some work. So we're going to see. I don't think that Canelo at 175 packs more punch than a full grown 175er like Joe Smith Jr. I really don't. So we'll see. And yeah, I mean Bivol can be timed. Anybody can be timed. Shakur Stevenson can be timed, believe it or not. It's just a matter of if you have the fighter that's willing to execute.
Y'all see that comment?
Yeah, I see that little shit. Yeah, we're talking about Canelo and Bivol. I'm picking Canelo to beat Bivol, but yet it's the Mayate show. All right, all right.
You picking Canelo? I thought you said you had Bivol.
I think Bivol's probably going to be able to do enough to win, but not going to get it. It's the same way I felt with Plant. You can do enough to beat Canelo and not get the W. It is what it is. It's that simple. Like you saw how garbage the Plant scorecards were. You think they're gonna let Mother Russia walk away with a dub?
Not really. I don't know. Look, man, what if Bivol hits Canelo with the unthinkable?
And what, like slumps him?
slumps him, or where it's like, bro, I just remember Andy Ruiz versus Joshua one, man. The ref was looking like, bro, I don't want to have to do this, man, but you're making me do it. What if it's one of those moments, man?
I mean, that would be
Canelo
fucking
spit
hilarious.
out his mouthpiece and the ref like, man, I don't want to have to call it.
If that happened, you know what? I'd be like, hey, Andre and Charlo, go up to 175, fight this nigga. Real talk. I'd be like, what you got to lose? What the fuck you got to lose? Might as well. Because Bill will fight them. Bill will fucking fight them. So I think if that happened, I'd be like, hey, one of y'all just go ahead. Or no, watch Benavidez fat ass suddenly be like, hey, Bivol, I want to fight. I want to fight.
Hey, keep on cooking.
No problem. He might not punch harder than Justin Jr., but he's more precise than him. Yeah, but like I said, Bivol uses his feet a lot, and Canelo struggles with movers. He struggles with movers. He struggles with people with decent hand speed that can actively keep something in his face to keep him off guard. And what's bad about Canelo is that Canelo doesn't have a hard, stiff jab. He has a probing jab, something that's meant to disorient you, to get you focused on other things so he can land some hot shit. That's not the situation, that's not the situation. I don't think Bivol's going to be suckered into that. Canelo's going to have to actively target the body, and Bivol's not the kind to rush inside. And I believe Bivol has the reach advantage. I could be wrong. So let's look it up. Canelo, height, and reach. So Canelo is billed at 5'7.5" with a 70-inch reach. Damn, that's a long ass reach. Bivol, height, and reach. Bivol is billed at 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Yeah, so Bivol's got 2 inches on him. So if they jab at the same time, Bivol gonna land more often. So and yeah, that's my biggest concern. NJMP, is this nigga even going to show up, or was that lay down bread sweet? That's my biggest concern. Is this nigga gonna actually come up and throw his fucking hands? Because for example, if we see the Bivol that was running them combos on Pascal's big head ass, oh shit, it's gonna be a fight. But if we see regular ass, I'm gonna just bounce around and blah 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 blah, like I'm fighting Salamov ass Bivol, man, you already know what it is. So that's the biggest concern. If Bivol shows up, if Bivol show up, like man, fuck that, then we're gonna be in a good place. But if Bivol just comes in there like I'm just fucking bounce around, throw one or two jabs, and just try not to get smoked, man, that's whatever. And also I think in these kind of situations where it's going to be a tough win, more gyms need to be training for knockouts. Like you got to come in with the mentality that you got to stop a guy before the fight even happens, so you can actually work towards that. Motherfucker, don't try to box the first 8 rounds of a fight away and pot shot and not getting anything done, and then come in and try to push for a knockout at the very end and then get stopped with some shit. Like I can't stand that. Like you have to train for knockouts. Like knocking out someone and boxing someone is two different mindsets. Yeah, he who greets. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Bivol. Right now, I'm under the impression that Bivol is going to show up to fight, and it's going to be interesting. But I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna look at the first 2 rounds. I'm be like, nah, this nigga. I'll be like, garbage. Yeah, and yes, Bojay. And it depends. It has a lot to do with the type of fighter you are. But people will say, "Oh, you don't have power because you don't have a lot of knockouts," and that might be true from an empirical perspective based on knockout percentages. But knockouts are a specific skill set. They involve around timing, punch application, and your ability to generate force at a moment's notice. So if you don't have the muscle fibers to be able to do that, that makes a lot of sense. But you should still be trying to land punches that inflict maximum damage. Like you should be aiming for the eyeballs. You should be aiming for the solar plexus. You should be aiming for the liver. Because there's a lot of dudes that be getting knockouts who don't have that much fucking power, but they still manage to stop people. Like very few people are one punch, like just like erasers, like Wilder and Tank and fucking and like Anthony Joshua in some situations. Very few people can do that, but you can still get a lot of punches in by accumulation. Like look at what the fuck what's his name, Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley wasn't no like fucking demolition man, but I'm telling you. You get in there, start probing with that jab,
land 3 or 4 good shots, mix them up to the head and body. Next thing you know, your ass is on roller skates. He's like, oh shit, he caught me about 5-6 times. Oh god, like look at Sugar Shane versus Margarito. Took him smooth out of here. Margarito was known as a vicious knockout puncher. Came in there, just overwhelmed his ass. Blah 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 blah. Look at Juan Manuel Marquez. He wasn't known as no fucking monster puncher, but the accumulation just kept the body shots going, kept the uppercuts going, active jab, head and body. Next thing you know, blah 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 blah, your ass was out of there. So it's all about how you train. It's all about how you do things.
Yo, Dion, what's good, man? This is Cozy.
Hey, what's cracking, man?
What's good, man? Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick. Art, appreciate you for letting me on. You know what I'm saying? But Bivol, man, I like him. I do, because I haven't really watched him that much, to be honest with you. But the stuff I did watch from him, he's just, I know I keep saying it, but he's really rhythmic to me. Like, his rhythm is it's like hop, 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 plant, punch, hop away, boom, he's covering up. And to me, bro, I think he's going to get Tom. He's going to get him out of here. I'm just being honest. That's my gut. My gut is telling me Canelo's going to just slip that punch, bang, throw a punch to the body, hook to the body, or bang, throw an overhand right. That's just my guess, man.
No, I mean that could easily happen. Because like I said, Bivol doesn't protect his body; he relies on his footwork. But if he's too close to the ropes and he thinks he's about to evade a Canelo body shot, and he takes that step back and the ropes are there, yeah, it could be over.
Yeah,
it could be over.
Yeah, I want him to push him though. Like you said, I want him to be motivated. Like, bro, like everybody against him. He got to realize, the world is really not jagged rushes right now. And there's a lot of stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? So, like, he got to come in like this is the fight of his life. He can't do what Sergey Kovalev did or any of these other guys do. Like, bro, you're fighting Canelo, but he's another human being, bro. And that's the one thing I do like about him. The Bull said before that, he was like, yo, basically, like, Canelo's another man. Like, he's not like some unbeatable, you know what I'm saying, sort of thing. So maybe he'll come into this and he'll give it a go, but yeah, my prediction right now is like a Canelo 10th round stoppage. That's my guess.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got Canelo by decision. I don't know if it's going to be unanimous, majority split, whatever, but I got him by decision. I think Bivol is going to go in there, probably, get the first 4 rounds in, but they're going to try to mix it up and give 2 of those 4 rounds to Canelo. And then it's going to get interesting toward the late ends. Canelo going to do some good work, get some good shots in. But, I think Bivol's going to be able to take it. He might wince or look hurt. I think he's going to get some stuff off on Canelo, push him back, make it interesting. But ultimately, I think it's going to go 12, and I think that Canelo's going to get the dub, and that's going to be another one of those things where people are like, this is weird.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, bro. See, yeah, my thing is that's another thing that's going to play into this fight, because if we both know, like, I think we could both agree it's going to be real hard for Bivol to go in and get a decision against Canelo Alvarez in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what belt is this for? The WBC, maybe?
The WBA, light heavyweight.
Oh, okay, the WBA? Okay. Well, we all know, we can agree, right, that it'll be hard for him to get a decision on the cards, right?
Hell yeah. Like I said, Canelo and Tyson Fury are 2 fighters right now that you have to put them to sleep if you plan on winning.
Right. Okay. And I agree with you there. So if we both agree with that, I think Bivol understands that too. And will that change the way he approaches the fight and give Canelo more openings? Because people don't really account for that and realize that. The mentality of the way a fighter fights can change based on that. And I think that's another reason why I think he'll end up getting countered and stopped. And I know he don't hit as hard as Joe Smith Jr. He probably is not necessarily as big. But like I was saying in the chat with the precision, it's like Canelo hit you kind of like, how Errol Spence, he has great power, but the thing that really breaks people's over bones is like chipping away at a rock. If you hit a rock in the same spot over and over again, eventually it'll crack. Canelo got that too a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially with that left hook to the body, and yeah, man. I just hope he hasn't been drinking too much Russian vodka. Is all I'm gonna say.
No, I mean Bivol's disciplined. My only thing is he gonna show up or did they give him the talk? You know, like my if Bivol shows up and like gets in there and shows his ass and shows us what he's got and he gets smoked, okay, I'll respect it. I'll give Canelo some credit. But if he gets in there and he's doing shit that we've never seen, because I've watched the majority of Bivol's fights. I've been watching him since he first came to America and he was on HBO and shit. So
Okay.
I'm like, if I get into a situation and I see you in there doing some weak shit you ain't never done before, man, fuck out of here. You over here fighting big ass roided up Pascal and Sullivan Barrera and all these big ass niggas, and then you come up against Canelo, little ass Alvarez. You up here like, nah, I don't want to engage because he smoked fucking plant, man, bro. I'm gonna be so fucking heated.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened either, because like we know Canelo crafts his career a little bit. Like everything that they accuse Floyd Mayweather of in his career, Canelo's actually been doing that since about like the Cotto fight in his career. And this is coming from a person who I don't have no dog in the race. I'm not no hater against Canelo. I just tell it like it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we know he's crafted his career like that. So my question in the back of my mind, I'm like, is it just the fact that they watch the tape and they see what I see with Bivol, or is it like you said, they already gave him the talk? They was like, listen, man, you know what I'm saying? I know it's hard times for you or whatever. You want to go back to Mother Russia? We're gonna give you a couple, you know what I mean? And then boom, boom, boom.
Well,
I hate for that to happen.
I think what it really came down to is so they had three options on the table. They had PBC option for like 100 or so million that initially came with Jamal, but then they added Benavidez to try to sweeten it up some. They had Macabooty, which public was like, nigga, if you don't get the fuck out of here with this weak shit, and also you have to deal with Don King, so they were probably like, okay. Then they had the zone, familiar territory. The ops gonna be whatever, and they're trying out the new pay-per-view model. They're giving you a guaranteed knockout in Triple G. He's gonna go in there and get fucking wasted, and then on top of that, you got Bivol, and then a potential third cherry pick, which some people are saying John Ryder. So you get two guaranteed KOs, and you only gotta really put in some work once. And that's against Bivol, and Bivol's the type of dude who's never touched real money in his fucking life, and he's just happy to be getting the paycheck. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. What happened was they was probably leaning towards Jamal because they was like, we can just clean this up as a title defense, and then we can move on. But then PBC threw Benavidez on top of the shit. They were like, wait, both of them? Oh, no. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Bye. I'm going over here to the zone.
Yeah. See, and Robert Sanchez, and I agree with you, Dion. Robert, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's that 1-2 style of punches. He'll throw jab, straight right hand, or then he'll throw jab, he'll hook, throw that right hook. But other than that, it's nothing like that. NJMP, they waited till Bivol was inactive. Dude got 2 fights in 3 years. Oh, see, I didn't know that. 2 fights in 3 years.
Yeah, Bivol doesn't fight that often. Neither does better.
I didn't even see Bivol last fight, dude. Was he even televised?
No, it was well, he actually fought twice in 2021. So that's he fought twice in 2021, and then he fought twice in 2019. He didn't have a single fight in all of the year 2020. But yeah, no, I don't think it was televised, but it was on the zone. No, I remember I watched it. It was that day where it was like boxing for like 16 hours straight. There we go.
Speaking of the zone, man, have y'all seen Eddie Hearn's comments, man? Eddie Hearn is he stayed popping off at the mouth, man. Really interesting.
Who's he talking shit about?
Al Heyman, the PBC. He basically was like, the PBC is basically gonna fail essentially because they don't have a figurehead, somebody to promote. He was like, listen, if I had to bet in the next 3 to 5 years between us, the PBC, and Top Rank and Bob Arum, I'm betting on us. Like, our business model is the best. The PBC, he didn't specifically say this part about the PBC, but he intimated it. Like, you could tell who he was talking about when he said, I look at some of these companies in the United States and the shows that they're putting on, and I know they're hemorrhaging money. They're not making any money. and our business model, we're constantly making money. So I know we're gonna be here. The question is if they are. And my only thing is like outside of Canelo, who's a free agent, keep in mind for the most part, he signs contracts. You know what I mean, 3-fight deals. What major U.S. presence does Eddie Hearn have? Like, what is he talking about?
Considering they just lost Devin Haney, they don't have shit over here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is he talking so tough? Like, he's talking like real. You know what I mean? Like he's head honcho, and it's like, bro, you are not a big step over here. Nobody knows you. Nobody cares about you.
Eddie Hearn is repeating is taking a page out of what a lot of these, you know, the people that represent bigots and shit. Eddie Hearn doesn't have any good talking points, so he's repeating after dumbasses. He's repeating after people like Montero, people like Kim, people like Ring IQ. He's repeating after them because this is dumb shit that they say. This motherfucker just received a bailout from a billionaire, lost most of their star talent. PBC almost has exclusive control over almost all the undisputed fights in
And
boxing
you
for
want
the
to know
last
how
year and a
I
half.
know that's true, D Hive? It's because Eddie Hearn, when it said, man, why is Ben fighting, what's his name?
Van Heerden?
Van Heerden. He said, oh, because look at Boots. He fought him. I'm like,
What?
nigga, you sound just like these dudes.
They talk shit, but then they copy everything PBC does. Just like they talk shit and they copy everything Mayweather does. They talk shit, but then they do the exact same thing. If PBC's business model is so ass, why are you converting to exactly what they do?
Great question. It's a great question. He's talking about, oh, we got to be competitive with them. But it's like, but I thought you were the disruptors. You
These
claimed
niggas said they
that
was gonna be the
nobody needed to
Netflix
make any
of
pay per
boxing.
views. Exactly. Right.
Not
That's
to
exactly what
mention,
they said.
check this out. Aside from Canelo Bivol, who the fuck else on that card we looking at?
They just said the dude, the boogeyman, the heavyweight boogeyman, his ass just pulled out the fight.
And keep in mind, he ain't him in and of himself ain't shit, and Big Bang Zhang isn't shit either. So aside from Canelo Bivol, what exactly would we be paying for?
Nothing. But I
Can,
don't even know who's on the other card. Let's keep it a buck.
that's all. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, and another thing too. I was watching a Keyshawn Davis interview yesterday, and he was talking about like, yo, early on in his career, he was on Matchroom for his first 2 fights or whatever, and he ended up not signing to Eddie Hearn. And so I'm just sitting here thinking about all the talent Eddie Hearn has missed out on too. Like all the young, he's always betting on the wrong young talent. Like, yo, I like Montana Love. I don't got nothing against him, but if Gary Russell and him fight, bro, like I'm taking Gary Russell 10 times out of 10. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Raymond Ford, like, and again, this is not a shot at these guys. I'm just saying for Eddie Hearn, it's like, bro, there's an obvious reason you're failing the United States, and it has nothing to do with everybody hating on you. Like, that's not what it is, bro.
Like you had Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, bro. These niggas talking about making $1 million bets with Jake Paul, but you ain't trying to put up no money to make George Kambosos versus Haney.
Right.
y'all gotta understand. Hearn is in the American market, but Hearn is European. That's where the majority of his bread is buttered monetarily speaking when he doesn't have Canelo over here. Yeah, these events that he has with Haney and shit, they clear some bread. But all year round, when the zone is putting on ass, it's the zone in Italy, the zone in Spain, the zone dart throwing. That shit is what's been keeping the lights on. He's just getting into boxing now. Why do you think he's trying to actively purchase a stake in like women's soccer? Because this shit, the little weak ass stable he got over here in the United States, not only are them niggas not making no noise, not only are their primary base of operations is in the UK, but they're just like they're not hitting like that. And the worst part is his stable can't beat nobody over here.
Yeah, man.
Why do you think they refuse to sign Terrence Crawford? Because it'll fuck your whole lineup up.
That's a fact. Because if he signed Terrence Crawford, Conor Benn would have to fight him, and it'd be clip for him. And the thing is too, real quick, I brought up Raymond Ford for this reason because Raymond Ford's last fight, he fought some Mexican dude. I think it was out in like Phoenix or something like that. I thought Raymond Ford lost the fight. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I thought Raymond Ford lost the fight. They gave him the decision. Eddie Hearn tweeted 10 minutes after the fight talking about some oh damn, Raymond Ford shouldn't have won that fight or whatever. He was lucky to get the decision. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be his promoter. Like
Bro,
what?
they
Out
have
of
a
all
day in
people,
a life episode series with Eddie Hearn, bro. I'm like, nigga, what the bro? Who are you, P Diddy or Eddie Hearn? What are you doing?
yeah.
What are you doing?
This last fight with Serrano, they had a face off. You know the whatever it's called when the fighters do the face off with each other where they talk
The
to
press
each other
conference?
across the table. Not the press conference. It's when they talk. They sit at a table and there's like, an
They do
interview
that
or
little
whatever.
roundhouse thing that they used to
Yeah,
do,
that
like
round
Yeah,
table.
Klitschko and
yeah,
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
that with AJ
They
and
did that.
Dillian White and shit.
Yes, yeah. They did that with Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul last week for the Serrano fight. I was like, face to face. Thank you,
Oh my
Anthony.
fucking god!
They did that. I was like, yo, what is going on? Like, bro, are they
Get,
about to
get,
fight?
get these niggas out of here, bro. What the fuck are y'all doing?
Eddie Hearn is funny as hell. This nigga in the fucking kitchen making a Nutella sandwich while Dillian White getting knocked out in his backyard. This guy's a character.
And it's funny because at the end of the day, it's just like with Eddie Hearn and Bob Barron. We have to remember that these dudes are still white, and these dudes know that banking the bigot dollar pays. So they'll sign all this quote unquote black talent, especially Bob Barron. He'll corner the market on black blue chip prospects just to have them niggas fighting nobody, and then use them as the fucking police force, saying, okay, well, if you talking shit, I'm gonna match you with Keyshawn, and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Like, stuff like that. So they corner the market just to make sure that the fighters that they want to promote aren't actually threatened. It's just like when Hearn signed Andre. Hearn signed Andre to keep him away from certain people, to make sure the fights couldn't get made.
Exactly. Right. And now
And they don't even
he's phased
understand,
him out.
bro. Some people got that complex where if they see a white person, man, with a suit, blue eyes, whatever, and they talking their talk, it's just like they get won over with that shit. It's like it's easy to manipulate certain
Yeah.
characters.
They think they official just off that, bro. It's like, oh, Eddie Hearn. Like, bro, again, I don't got nothing against Boo. I like Boo, but like, bro, he's always the one saying always been on black. Like, that's one thing I like about him. And then he went over to Eddie Hearn and expected him to make fights for him. Like, Eddie Hearn has zero track record of making fights for any black American fighter. The only people he can make a fight for is AJ and Canelo. That's it.
Imagine how much imagine how much smoke. Imagine how much. I mean, well, if they bring up their 154 crop, Boo Boo and Charlo could have all the smoke at 160 if motherfuckers are coming up. But they could have at least fought by now. But yeah, I mean, shit. That's yeah. I don't know what to even say about Boo Boo. He seems to be happy with his current situation, so I'm happy for him if that's what he wants to do. I'm not gonna spend any more time talking about it. I'm pretty
Me
much,
either.
yeah, I'm good on Andrew. Like I heard him talk about it on Twitter. He was explaining his point of view, and I'm like, okay, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. Do what you gotta do.
Oh, you said he was cool? I didn't know that. If you said that, I bet. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I
I
mean,
agree with that.
he says that he's been an advocate for the fight. He's talked about Chris Mannix disrespecting him, not doing what he was supposed to do. But ultimately, I mean, this is the last fight on his matchroom contract, and I don't know. He didn't say that if he was going to end it or not definitively, at least to my recollection. But
Nigga, from the way you see Eddie Hearn talk about it, man, or how he signed it, sounding, nigga, that fight, he not signing. What's his name again? Andre.
Yeah,
yeah,
now they done. They
and
done.
Eddie
They're
Hearn
done
is
with him.
and Eddie Hearn is full of shit because it's like you're treating him like he didn't maximize his potential. And I'm like, that's your fault, dumbass.
You
Right.
literally, I don't care what nobody said. Eddie Hearn is a jackass for sitting there and laughing at Andre, trying to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez,
While
having
he signed
security,
him.
having security escort him out the building, out the room.
That should have let Boo Boo know right there. Yo, I am not top priority. I need to get up out of here. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. You supposed to be signed to him, and he's escorting you out the building, bro. Like, yo, it's wild, man. It's wild. But I was talking about Shakur earlier. and you would pick Haney to beat him. Yeah, I agree. That's a 50-50 fight. I would pick Shakur personally, just because of the IQ and timing and certain things. But yeah, people need to. They do need to keep everything in perspective as far as like the fighter Shakur is fighting, because let's be honest, Shakur didn't even really get out of second gear in this past fight, and that's not his fault. That's Valdez's fault. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Oh, what's up? I am True Will. I see you. Yeah. Valdez was always B level. He got praised by his own personal fan base because he smoked a dude that had also been smoked by a bum, and that's on his fan base. Y'all hyped him up to no end just for him to get taken smooth out, which is why no real Valdez fans were calling for the Shakur Stevenson fight because they knew the results.
yeah, man.
It wasn't even gonna be close. Like I didn't pick Shakur Stevenson to stop Valdez, but I knew it was gonna be some one sided ass shit, and it was.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I know a lot of people aren't saying this isn't popular, but Valdez was in there trying to survive. Like people get confused and they think, oh, he because he's swinging wild and all that stuff, he's trying to win. Bro, it's the same thing that Isaac Cruz did with Tank. They shell up, they throw wild bolo punches, they don't set up any sort of jab, and they're just praying for either a knockout or to not get stopped. That's all Valdez was doing in there.
to
That's it.
me, to me, it was the same set of circumstances as Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia came out with a game plan for the first three. He executed it. Then EJ hit him with some hot shit to the body. He said, "Oh shit, okay, wait,
Yep.
and then he just started to survive the rest of the fight. He was like, "I'm just trying not to get put to rest. I really don't want
Yep.
to get stopped in here."
Yep. And it's crazy because that man that we saw in there Saturday was 30-0 with 23 knockouts. If Top Rank can't do miracles, I don't know what it is, man. Because there's no way a guy with that level of talent should be 30-0 in his career. Because you could tell he fought no certifieds. How you do that and have a belt like that? What did they say? I think they said like 10 title defenses or something like that, or 9 or something like that. It's just crazy.
Well, it's because like no one ever looks at the resume of a op until they lose to a nigga. Then all of a sudden, motherfuckers want to go back and do some research because they were trying to hype up.
Right.
They were trying to hype up Burchell, and we're just looking like, okay, well, who the fuck is Burchell exactly? Who the fuck he been fighting? Most of his fights are in
Right.
Mexico. Like, bro, like Burchell's. Let me see. Like Burchell's like first 20 fights are in Mexico. He fought once in the United States. Went back down to Mexico, got smoked in the first round by a fucking nobody. Fought in Mexico like 10 more times. Came back to the US to fight Vargas and some Japanese nigga. Went back to Mexico for 2 more fights. Fought in America for 3 more fights, and then fought Francisco Vargas again. And we look at the dude resume. Okay, Francisco Vargas, certified, cool. Cristobal Cruz, maybe, kind of, sorta. After that, who the fuck you beating?
Nobody.
Like, what I'm
A
talking
bunch
about.
of nobodies, man. And that's no disrespect to them. Just saying.
Yeah, but it looks good because he has 38 wins and 34 knockouts. And I'm like, that's fine. But then you try to apply that logic to Wilder, all of a sudden, oh, well, he wasn't fighting no damn body. Oh, well, shit.
Right. You know what I mean? And that's what I say. That's and you see that same logic of how we have to reverse it. It's the same way I say about people who tell Shakur you got to go up to move to 135. No, 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 no. Shakur can stay right there at 130 if he still can make the weight and go get undisputed, because I just saw Canelo get praised like crazy for his 160 undisputed run because they said, oh man, he's making history. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep in mind 130 hadn't been unified since 2005. Okay, so let Shakur make history and build up his resume and become one of the great 130 pounders in history instead of trying to move him up because you know that he's way better than all the 130s. So what? I knew Canelo was way better than the 160s. I mean, or 168 pounders, excuse me, and I still had to watch them. So that's what it is.
Exactly. They're trying to go ahead and make sure Shakur has to fight all these tough fights back to back to back while giving everybody else the cushy treatment. Because like I was telling Artman earlier before you came up, if Oscar Valdez had done the impossible and even like decision Shakur, let alone knock him out, they would be giving Oscar Valdez permission to take the rest of his career off. They were like, you know what,
Exactly.
you beat Shakur Stevenson when he was fucking 22 or whatever. So go ahead. I mean, 25 or 24, however fuck old you. And so go ahead and coast the rest of your life. You got one good win, fight trash for the rest of your career. We're good. We don't need to see shit else. But meanwhile, Shakur got to go up and fight Haney, Tank, Lomachenko, Cambosa, like all these TFU, all these
Right.
people. I'm like, no, it's not Shakur's fault that 130 is trash. Let him go ahead and slaughter those bums like he's supposed to, and then he can do whatever he wants. Stop riding his ass.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I don't want to hear any, and I'm not even making this up. One of my coworkers watches boxing, and he was telling me, we were talking about it today, and he was sitting there, and he told me, he's a white guy. He said, I want to see Shakur fight Keyshawn Davis. I think they're going to be ducking each other. Keyshawn Davis is not only not in his weight class, he's what, 5-0, 4-0? Now
Yeah,
you got to see him
5-0.
fight him. What about the other two champions that are right there? You know, whatever their names are. I don't know their name. Gutierrez and Igawa or something like that. Let them fight him.
My thing is, okay, you feel that way about Shakur. How about let Keyshawn fight Lomachenko? And watch his ass start stuttering.
Right.
What
Too big.
Yeah, exactly. That weak shit up out of here.
Man, if I have to hear another weight bully comment about Shakur Stevenson, the last time that I checked, Shakur was at 126, what, a couple years ago?
The same time as Valdez.
Okay. So, and Valdez moved up to 130 before Shakur did. So I don't know what these people are talking about.
Correction.
I have no idea.
Correction. Valdez moved up to 130 because of Shakur.
Right.
He saw
Right.
that crazy motherfucker down there and said, "Oh hell no! Okay, you know what? Nope, we're not. I'm not doing that. So let me just go ahead. He can hang out." He thought that Shakur was gonna chill at 126 fighting nobody just because he went up and tried to unify that shit. Shakur was like, "Nah, bro, I want that ass. It's over with for you." And then finally the duck hunt is over because Terrence Crawford decided to sue somebody.
Right. That is what it is. What do we think of Reynoso as a trainer? He, a Jag, just another guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you at least this specifically for me, when it comes to the Black American side, and he already said it himself, for me, he has no answers. Him and Canelo, they really don't know what they're doing. They think that if they just shell up in a high guard and walk people down, people will break down, and that's how you beat it. And that's what I guess he tried to do at the start of that fight, and it clearly didn't work. So if that's all you got, man, and there's no plan B, plan C, I don't think much of you as a trainer. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, man.
And honestly, as a trainer, you have certain responsibilities which involve sort of protecting the reputation of your fighter. You don't want to admit no shit like that on the microphone. What the hell kind of shit is that?
Right.
Now your whole camp looks like garbage. I mean, they already did, but it's like, damn, bro. Like if I have a stable full of black people, young black fighters, I'm teaching the standard American slick style of boxing, right? One of the primary issues with that slick style of boxing that we have a hard time against is the Eastern European, the Eastern European former Soviet Olympic school. They hit hard. They're incredibly difficult to knock out. They're very tough, so they don't have to be as defensively responsible. And most of them have most of them have iron chins, so they don't need to move a lot because they're like fighting tanks. I wouldn't openly say, like, embarrassing my entire state, being like, "Oh, those Russian guys, we just have no answer for them." And meanwhile, we've been ducking Russians like a motherfucker.
While my fighter has an up and coming fight against a Russian.
Right, like,
Right.
what the fuck? What are you saying? Just shut up. And basically, you're also pointing out to the world your inadequacies as a coach. Because I don't know, maybe if it's because I'm black or maybe because I've watched enough boxing, but Valdez had opportunities that he just didn't seize. And part of that is Shakur's skill set, but part of the other part of it is the psychological aspect. You came in not wanting this fight, and nobody has faith in you to win it. You already came in with that. And then you got in there with Shakur, and he hit you with some shit, and you just said, you know what? They were right. You just gave in immediately.
Yeah, man.
So I'm just like, what's going to happen when Shakur is in there with people who don't give a fuck about him?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen when Shakur's in there with people who aren't scared of him? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
And
saying.
that's all we're saying. But when me and D Hive said we're haters, we haters. Even though we give him praise all fucking day.
They're
But the
calling
minute
you
we say,
haters for that.
if you
And
put
we're
him in there with this guy, it may not be looking like an Oscar Valdez fight.
yeah, and we're not saying that Shakur loses. We're saying that it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I said, Shakur can get in there and knock Devin head smooth off his shoulders, but he could also
Or
lose.
Devin Haney can roll under that punch, hit him with that uppercut.
That's all I'm saying. It could go either way. Like just
Both.
the same with Tank.
Yeah. Both of you think that Devin Haney would beat Shakur, or you're just saying it's 50-50 period?
I
I'm
think so.
I'm
Me
saying
personally, I think so.
I'm
Okay.
saying it's 50-50. And if they were scheduled to fight right now, I would pick Devin Haney by a very hard fought, difficult to score decision.
Okay. That's interesting. That's fair. Like I don't. Yeah, that don't sound like hate to me, and that's coming from a person who would pick Shakur to beat Dev in a fight too. But
I
I'm
seen
with
them
y'all.
right
I think
hands
it's
land on.
close.
I seen Valdez land on the right hands, and I'm like, yo, even the left hook to the body. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
yo, man.
I feel what you're saying, but if you go back and watch the fight with the right hands, Valdez at first when he was trying to throw the right hand, he was missing the right hand, and then what he did, if you see, he actually got up on his toes because all he was doing was creeping the entire fight. Like he abandoned any little footwork he had, and he was just launching that hoe. He was trying to he sacrificed all power for speed. So if you watch them right hands that he was landing, Shakur's kind of like moving his head back with the shots, and Valdez had no power on it. So them shots was more point shots, like amateur type of right hands versus like anything powerful to me
But my
personally.
thing was like, what I seen from it is yes, a shorter guy or shorter reach was able to still land right hands. A more skilled guy, athletic and fast like Devin Haney, he
Mhm.
gonna capitalize.
That's true, but at the same time, and I'm just telling you, at the same time, if you go back to the Diaz fight, Diaz was landing left hands on Devin Haney, straight left hands too. So like both these guys have things, you know what I mean, like that. I guess people could say quote unquote are weaknesses and things they got to clean up. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think any of these guys are perfect. But yeah, I definitely see what you're saying with that. I see that.
Yeah. And that's something that Devin Haney's definitely got to clean up when it comes to catching punches, because some of the times, especially with Diaz, you know, yeah, I think that being in there with Diaz, first of all, he hasn't had a great deal of southpaw experience, so he reverts to the Philly shell oftentimes in an active defense,
Yeah.
and he tries to catch a lot of those left hooks, and hey, some shit got through. It is what it is, and some shit definitely gonna get through when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. I'm not saying that Devin Haney, even if he got the W, wouldn't have had his ass whooped. You're gonna get your ass whooped, but I just think he's gonna be able to. I think he's gonna be able to. First of all, the range aspect. I think that if they both throw the jabs at the same time, Devin Haney will land more often. He's going to force Shakur Stevenson on the inside and get in a lot of effective counterpunching. And also, I think that the psychological aspect is going to play an important role, because when it comes to utilizing veteran tactics inside the clinch, grabbing and turning someone, that's something that Devin Haney does well, and that's something that Shakur Stevenson doesn't do, or it makes him very uncomfortable.
Hmm.
You know,
That's
and
interesting.
also when it comes to Tank, all that clinching and shit, Tank not gonna do all that. Tank gonna be trading body shots with Tank, and this is gonna turn into like a high school bathroom scrap, and we just gotta see who falls first.
Yep, and I feel like Shakur don't got that heart for that, because when Tank start hitting him with uppercuts in the inside, Shakur gonna be looking at the ref, and the ref gonna be like, I don't know what to tell you. Mayweather paid for this promotion.
And also in those moments, like Devin Haney, I don't think that Devin Haney could get away with this, because I don't think his reflexes are as quick as Tank. But in those moments where Shakur looks at the ref, I'm telling y'all, Tank will close the distance on that ass so quick and be able to get something off, bro. It's
I didn't like that, man.
That's
I did not
that's what I
like that
see. I
in
was
this
like,
aspect.
yo, y'all see what I'm talking about, right?
even with Jamel Herring. If I'm when Jamel Herring, like when Jamel Herring started listening to Bomac and started roughing him up and having some success landing on Shakur, every time Shakur looked at the ref, I'm telling you, Tank would have closed the
The
distance on his ass
distance,
so
yeah.
quick.
And
He would have
people
been
don't
on
see
his
that.
ass.
D-Hive, people don't see that and they say, "Oh, they gonna say you're a hater," but it's like, bro, you got to think about this is the fight game, bro. A little shit like that could change the whole outcome of the fight. Just like how imagine if Yugas had more power and he caught Errol like that, with that same 1-2.
But you
Imagine
notice,
Errol didn't recover from that. It could have been over with.
that's what makes those fights so dynamic because even though Ugas didn't have any power, Errol Spence got grazed with that right hand once, and he adapted to it and started catching all of them. He stopped letting the right hand get through. He started catching the right hook. Ugas would try to throw the right hook off the double jab. He just kept that left hand up, started catching that shit. What's going to happen when Shakur Stevenson is in a fight with someone that does that? Makes mid-fight adjustments, learns pattern. Like someone tried to tell me on Twitter, and they made a good point. They said that Shakur Stevenson fights very rhythmically, and he makes sure that he's punching just often enough to disrupt his opponent's rhythm. And I'm like, that's exactly right. But that's the thing about rhythms. Rhythms represent a pattern, and patterns can be timed.
I hear that. But what I would say to that person is, while I do agree that Shakur can get caught up in a rhythm, the one thing Shakur does very well is he varies his punches. Like with both hands, he'll throw a right hook, he'll throw a jab with the right hand, he'll put his hand out there and just leave it there to gauge some distance to blind his opponent. Then he'll come with the uppercut right there. Then he'll stick it to the body. Like he is rhythmic, but it's going to be very hard to time because you don't know which punch is coming. For one, two, I do think D-Hop. The only thing that I would disagree with you slightly in is the inside game. I don't think Shakur is as weak or as uncomfortable as you're saying he is on the inside. I don't think we've seen him in a fight where the ref allowed them to fight on the inside because there were some little small things that I saw him do with Valdez yesterday that was really interesting to me. Like when Valdez was trying to like get his work off, keeping that elbow low, and then there was one time he turned him on the ropes and quick two left hand, right hand hooks, and I was like, oh, Shakur, man. I don't know. I really do. I know this is gonna sound convenient, but I do think he just hasn't had the level of opposition to force him to show all the tools he has. But I think he got a lot more tools than we've
Yeah, and
seen. That's just me personally.
Cozy, I
No,
you
that's
know what?
absolutely
I
correct.
agree with you. I agree with you 100% because, like I posted on Twitter, I'm like, dude, if that's what he's bringing to the table, that 1-2 hook and then stab you to the stomach, I'm like, man, I don't know that if he goes in there with Tank, does he have more to the table? Because that's not enough.
All I'm thinking about is that let's say it's round 8. Tank has won no rounds convincingly, and Calvin Ford saying you got to put the heat on him, bro. This shit is a blowout. You really gonna let this little boy do you like this? What's gonna happen when Tank just fucking turns it up to 100, Baltimore status, and just jumps on Shakur and starts putting the heaters on? Like people will tell me that Shakur is elusive enough to avoid all of that, and I'm like, that's fine, and that could easily be true. But however, what happens when he gets cracked with something hot?
Big difference, and
Nah,
that's what I
see,
love
he's not
about this
elusive
game.
enough to do that.
Because it was moments where
Well,
Valdez just started jumping on him and try to push him on the ropes and try to lay on him. We try to, throw some punches, but
yeah.
he wasn't effective. I'm like, dude, for Tank, he's not a dumbass like that. He's gonna set it up with the jab and try to get you in that corner and then start wailing on you.
And the thing about Tank too is when Tank feel you don't got no power, Tank
Oh,
will just get into that high guard and he'll start
yeah.
walking you down and he'll lull you into that rhythm of, oh, okay, I'm touching him. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz, perfect example, bro. He was letting him throw that right hand because he's like, all right, there ain't nothing coming. Boom, boom,
But the
bang,
round, the
uppercut,
round
over.
that Tanks, the round that Tank stopped Leo Santa Cruz is, you can see it. He immediately started putting that pressure on Leo Santa Cruz as he
Yeah,
started
man.
pressuring him. Next
Even
thing you
in
know, he not slept him.
even in round 5, like round 5, once Tank was able to time Leo Santa Cruz's flurries and he started just individually putting the shots together, head body. Leo Santa Cruz wasn't doing all that bullshit. He started backing up. He was like, oh shit. He started backing up big time and just started hanging off the ropes. He was like, God damn. And then he honestly just kept throwing that punch out of desperation because he just needed to get Tank off of him, but didn't have the skills and he couldn't move his feet because the body shots lock you up. Like once your diaphragm gets punished like that, it's hard to walk.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Like look at Ugas and Danny Garcia. EJ put 2 good body shots on both of them niggas. They all of a sudden needed a walker up in there. They just stopped moving. They were like, oh god damn.
Stood still.
Yeah, I mean Danny Garcia, at least he was tough enough to try to move around and get out the way and throw some shots. But Ugas ass just sat there and fucking ate that.
Who had a better performance, Danny Garcia or Ugas?
Well, Danny Garcia didn't get stopped, nigga.
Right? Exactly. So
Yeah,
and then they say Danny Garcia is this and that, but he sure did survive up in there.
and it's funny too because they said that Danny Garcia was a wash dude who didn't come to fight, but as soon as Danny Garcia might fight Terrence Crawford, oh, Danny Garcia is a top 10 welterweight. Oh,
You know, if y'all say he was a top 10 with Spence, that means he a top 10 with Earl.
Yeah,
with Bud.
bitch ass motherfucker.
Okay, so
man.
I got a question for y'all because I saw this on Twitter and I thought it was real interesting. Now y'all talking about it now. Shakur, Tank, and Spence are all southpaws. How would you rank them as southpaws? Like just right now.
Spence is currently the best southpaw, and then as far as technical, technical ability, I'd have to put Stevenson next, and then Tank,
Okay.
because Tank. But that's the thing about Tank is sort of the situation with Shakur. Not only has Tank not been in there with the opposition to make him use all of his tools, but his fights don't last that long. For the most of his fights don't really be lasting that long, so we can't,
Hold on.
Go ahead.
No, keep it going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but a lot of Tank's fights haven't gone the distance, and with the people he's been in with, you don't need to really do that much to beat them. Like Barrios, you don't need to do shit to beat Barrios. I mean, fucking Akhmedov, little bitty ass, proved that. So,
Yeah. And but the thing is though, people try to downplay that Barrios win, but Barrios was a big 140. People don't realize
He was.
at
I don't
least
care
they
what
don't want
nobody
to
said.
give him
I was
credit.
nervous for taking that fight.
Yeah, he's a big 140. He taking them punches. What Tank did to him in there was impressive to me. Like I'm like, yo,
Very.
like he basically jumped 2 weight classes and stopped the guy that Keith Thurman couldn't get out.
yeah, he did what Canelo did with Rocky Fielding, but against better competition.
Right.
Yeah, he jumped up in weight to a place he'd never been before to fight a big ass dude. And yeah, he doesn't get respect for it, but I'm just talking about Barrios from a
I
skill
didn't even
set
think
perspective.
Tank can extend his arm
Nah, I
that
feel you.
far. I didn't even know he can extend his left hand that far and land those on Barrios like that. To be honest,
I'm telling you, man,
Yeah.
niggas think it's so sweet, but
Javante literally jumped with his left hook.
yeah, that leaping, he hit him with that baby Roy Jones, that leaping left.
Yeah, he jumped with the left hook to get him. I said, "Wow,
Just whacked his
you don't
ass.
see many of that these days."
Yeah, I'm honestly though I'm concerned for Tank's career because I hope now he starts calling for these people because I personally I'm not sure if he's gonna want to fight Shakur. I'm not sure.
Because I'm not gonna lie, man, it's tough, dude. Javante, look, think about it. Shakur had his Oscar Valdez fight. Haney about to get his motherfucking George Kambosos fight. What meaningful fight does Javante Davis have?
No, nobody on the PBC besides maybe like a Gary Russell fight, but Gary Russell not going up to fight him. So it's like maybe he is. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of on the PBC side. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rivera.
oh yeah.
I feel like that fight's gonna happen.
But for me, like, I mean, one, Tank is gonna get him out of there, and two, beating Rivera does nothing for Tank.
Hey, I heard that Tank about to resign.
With Mayweather?
PBC?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
And you know, man, bro, Mayweather, he dipping that piggy bank, bro.
Well, fuck the money. Give me some ops. Like
he probably like, man, I promise you, Tank, we gonna get you these fights, man. Please.
Mayweather back there begging.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. How long?
Please, nigga. How much you want? How much you want?
I
How
keep
much
it
you
100 with you. How long you been riding with me? Don't I always say I keep it 100 with you?
right,
Looking
you
at
know. All I gotta do, look, 60 million, 70. I got a couple exhibition fights left. I can make it back.
nigga fighting on helipads and shit. What the fuck are you? You almost
Right.
50. Sit your ass down and put on the suit.
This nigga, they talk about he's sparring in front of his grandson. What you mean sparring in front of his grandson? Which is NBA YoungBoy's son, which is crazy to me. He came up. I ain't gonna lie.
Wait. Floyd is sparring right now, you saying?
Floyd is sparring in front of his grandson, which happens to be NBA YoungBoy's son.
Oh God. What Floyd, bro?
Yeah.
Something not. I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't like to count other people's pockets. You feel what I'm saying? But like, all I'm gonna say is, and this is the one comment I'm saying, something not adding up.
He's
That's all
over
I'm saying.
leveraged.
Yeah.
He's over
Listen, I
leveraged.
agree with you. I don't like talking about people's pockets, but yeah, man. Oh my God. So,
Yeah, he's
like,
over
bro,
leveraged
come
as
on.
fuck, bro. He has a lot of his money is tied up in assets that increase in value, but the money is locked up in real estate and land that he's not renting these properties. He's not getting any residual income on, and he also has to pay operating expenses on not only his house, but he has full maintenance for his vehicles. He operates I don't know how many fucking planes. He flies every goddamn where, spends a lot of money on fucking events. He's only getting a percentage of Tank's earnings. He's only a partial owner to the PBC. He has God knows how many properties. He has the strip clubs, which are primarily a cash business, but God knows that the management level there. And let's keep it 100. Floyd is a good businessman, but at the end of the day, he's a nigga from Michigan. Okay, so he's not
Yeah, man.
he's not fucking Al Heyman back here with the Harvard MBA type shit. So he's doing what he can with all his bread, but like niggas don't expect to get this rich.
Yeah.
So
No, it's true. It's true. And you know what's sad too though is that there was a point in time where Floyd had just put his ego to the side. You know what I mean? And not tried to be Diddy and be all up in the cameras and always talking about his own career. He could have had like Errol Spence, Devin Haney, them guys. He could have had a way better chance at signing them. And he'd be in a much better place right now versus having to just rely on Tank.
Floyd
But he
Mayweather
brought it on himself.
Floyd Mayweather could be the greatest boxing promoter in the history of boxing. And he chose to, like you just said, he chose to focus on himself, always big up himself, promote himself, and now he's mad that he's about to be left by himself. I'm like,
Right.
with all the respect, Floyd, it's a lot of like feminine tendencies. Like a woman will pick everything over a man, but then be upset when she's fucking alone.
But it's
Right.
like I feel like Floyd has this like feeling where it's like, dude, you guys don't understand how hard it took me to get to this position. I don't want to just give it up right now because I'm
What
getting
position?
older.
What
I still
position
got
is he
my brain.
in?
I still feel young. You know what I mean?
What position is he? What position is he in though? As far as boxing is concerned, the niggas made all the bread.
Like,
He
bro, really think about it. Imagine you being the guy where your weigh-in is doing better than better numbers than these niggas' actual fights, bro.
But he's
Yeah,
lived
but
his.
think about it like this though. Just real quick, do you have just
Yeah.
think about it like this though. One of his main ops, like one of his main rivals was Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya, he saw how Golden Boy Promotions ended up basically being taken away from him. You feel what I'm saying? Floyd saw that and could have been like, yeah, I'm going to get one up on him again and be a better promoter than he ever was. And instead, he's out here not struggling, but Mayweather Promotions is not on top. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Not where it's
you
supposed
would
to
think he
be.
would, yeah, not where it's supposed to be or where it could have been. So it's like, you kind of like threw away your opportunity, so to speak, a little bit. You feel me? Like, Bob Arum has all the top young talent, or like the majority of the top young talent in the sport right now, which is insane to think about. Like, come on, how, bro? Like, yeah,
And the worst part about Floyd is Floyd will be sitting on some people. He just gotta sit there and work with and polish up, but he doesn't want to put in the time because he's so busy. He on tank ass. Like you got
yeah,
Richardson Hitchens, Malik Hawkins, Jaleel fucking Hackett or whatever fucking
Hackett,
name.
Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett. and all these other people, and sorry, yeah, and he's got all these other people, and he's not focused on building them. Like he's not. Like Richardson Hitchens is only just now getting fights. He's like, oh, finally, I'm fighting again. It's like, bro, and then look what he did to Mickey Bay and Luis Arias. He threw them by the wayside.
That's a fact, man. Yeah, like you said, man. And I'm not trying to downplay him, but he's from Michigan. Did Floyd graduate high school? I don't think so, right? I think he had dropped out or something like that.
I think he graduated high school, but don't you have to do that to go to the Olympics?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure. But
I don't know, but I gotta get up out of here. About to go get some food. But we can probably chop it up later on.
All right,
yeah, for sure.
Talk about Canelo Bivol fight week. It's gonna be interesting Saturday. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be very interesting. We'll see how that shit plays out.
That's a fact. Okay,
but all right, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Yep.